There's nothing playing.
Hot heat!
You're tuning in to the Vulcan Soapbox.
It's your show, Vulcan. Come on, man.
All right, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to the Vulcan Soapbox, where we teach you how to reason at the highest level, and we are obedient to the laws of logic. I am Enos, your gracious host, and I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our panel. We got a lot of good guests. We're gonna cover a variety of different topics. But first, let me get to my guest, man. What's up? Only facts and stats. What's going on, man?
Yo, I'm good. How y'all doing, man? Only Facts and Stats here. Host of Only Facts and Stats show that we do that we're trying to get more consistent on, definitely, check us out and glad to be with you guys.
Man, I'm glad you're back, man. Shout out to Only Facts, been here a few times, man. I always enjoy your presence on the show. And my guy T Reasons, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's going on with you? Good to see y'all, man.
Man, good to see you
Thanks
as
for having
well.
me on the show.
Yes, man. Yes. Thanks for coming back. And my guy Freshly Snipes, what's up, man? We're here.
My name Mike. I'm from North Carolina. And I like sports, and that's it.
And that's it. Shout out, my man, Freshly Snipes. And while we're doing this show, like I said, if you watch Star Trek, one of my favorite characters, Vulcan, in my opinion, the guy that come closest to Vulcan on this show is obviously Vulcan right here. Man, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Talk to the people. Oh, you muted.
You meant Spock, right?
Spock, yeah, Spock from the Vulcan planet. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what's up with everybody? It's the Vulcan. We're here to do a good show today. I ain't gonna waste anybody's time. Let's get into it.
Let's get right into it. And then my guy Health the Bear says, Vulcan Soapbox, what's happening? What's up,
What's
bro?
happening?
All right, man. So that's what like I said earlier, we're gonna cover a variety of topics. The first topic we're gonna get into is the what's his name? Hold on, give me while I pull this clip up. Hey, just give me there's something going on this end. I'll have to jump out for a minute. Just give me like 20 seconds, y'all.
Yeah. So what's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. I did a show today, man. We reviewed a Patrice O'Neal performance, man. Y'all familiar with him?
It's one of the GOATs, man.
Man, I had a lady, so I always like to sit with women to watch Patrice O'Neal, right? To get their reaction, right? Oh man, it was hilarious, bro. It was hilarious. So he was full Patrice. I can say that,
You know what the name of the show was?
The Nasty Show.
Oh, okay, Nasty Show.
Yeah. So yeah,
his comedy was great.
Yeah,
but I was more impressed with his radio personality. Whether it was the
True.
Black Phillip or just him being on the Anthony show, like just really funny and insightful.
Yeah, man, he was a profound thinker, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Kevin Samuels talked about a few times.
Absolutely, all the time. Yep. Yeah, man. I remember when he passed, man. It was one of the back in 2011, man. It was right after my little brother's father was really impactful to me. And I saw kind of the way that they kind of told stories was so similar, you know what I'm saying? But Patrice, man, he was awesome, man. And a lot of people don't know, man. I said that he was the first mainstream red pill commentator, I think, you know. Yeah, man.
Well, he's considered like one of the originators of it because
absolutely
his commentary was ahead of its time.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
definitely.
man.
Do you what's two comedians that come to mind the quickest that you think are closest to him as far as like his comedy and his message?
His level of honesty. I would have to say the more recent Dave Chappelle, not the original, like back in the day, Dave Chappelle. I
Yeah,
think
not killing
the
them
current,
softly.
right, the current era Dave Chappelle and maybe Ali Sadiq.
Okay. Freshly, what
Yeah.
about you? What two comedians like you would say closely resembled Patrice O'Neal? Closest.
I mean, you got to go Louis.
Yeah.
Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go Louis.
Who is that?
Louis C.K.
Oh, Louis C.K. Okay. Louis C.K. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's gonna be
in terms of like content.
Louis C.K. is a good choice. I probably would go Bill Burr and Corey.
I thought about Bill Burr.
I was thinking if Bill Burr and Corey Holcomb had a baby, to me that'd be close to Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Corey Holcomb because Corey Holcomb, he's not usually honest in his comedy. He's usually salacious, but he's not usually honest. You know what I mean? He calls people, slurs and things like that, even though he doesn't have any reason to call them slurs and stuff. He's my homeboy. I like him, but I don't think his comedy is very honest.
He thinks that he had an influence on Patrice O'Neal's comedy.
He would think that, yeah. It's not true though.
Yeah.
He would think that, of course. Yeah, he's being who he is.
And just for the audience, the reference would be Corey Holcomb has a podcast, 5150 show, and he did a show with Aries Spears with Zoe Williams and him. We're still doing shows together, and then that was one of my favorite episodes you ever see. Just hilarious all the way through, and they talk about everything you can imagine on that show, from relationships to politics. But on that show, he says that when Patrice came to LA, he believes that he was the one who gave Patrice. I didn't teach him comedy, but I'm the one who gave Patrice O'Neal that liberty to really be who he was, And I don't know if that's true or not, but he's associated with Patrice O'Neal a lot. That's why Aries Spears brought it up.
It's hard to say that because Patrice O'Neal been the same the whole time through, even before he got out of Boston. Like you go back to his early stuff, in the Laugh Factory in Boston, he's before he moved out to LA, before he made it big. Because if you really think about it, Elephant in the Room was his only like mainstream special.
Yeah,
right.
Like that was technically supposed to be his like his launch,
coming of age. Yep.
Yeah, he passed away before he could really reap the benefits. But yeah,
but this is the thing. If anybody's an avid Patrice listener or watcher, he always talked about the people that influence him.
Yeah,
and I've never heard him mention Corey Holcomb.
That's a good point.
He was very honest. He always talked about the people that influenced him. He always gave people their kudos. Patrice O'Neal did, and he always had people that he was respectful of. He always gave him a platform whenever he had a platform, right? And I've never heard him mention Corey Holcomb ever in life.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta second that. But ready to go. You ready to go,
Yes, I'm ready to go. Sorry about that, fellas. So let's get right into the topic. This is a video. I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on this video. Let me go ahead and play it. Two guys, a lot that's been going on. Two guys are arguing about. You see it for yourself. You see it for yourself. You said what? I hear you, bro.
So you can just go into the video, man. Let's go.
Man, I was doing my best trying to introduce the video, brother. All right, let's go, man.
Fuck and throw me a 30 back. I'm gonna kill.
So you're
I'm a
saying,
22-year-old young man, you 37. Your life is over, Paul.
So you're saying that you would be willing.
Head, Paul.
Let's play the scenario out, shall we? You shoot me, right?
You die. Yeah,
I might die. I might die.
You gonna die, nigga.
But
these
ready?
762's gonna bust your melon open, nigga.
But ready? Guess what? Guess what? You'll be going to prison for the rest of your life then.
I ain't going to prison for nothing, nigga. Because
so you would be willing to throw your life away, right?
Damn right, nigga. All I gotta do is send me some fucking walk and throw me a 30 back. I'm gonna kill you, nigga. Fuck you
Listen,
talking about?
that's
Niggas,
good enough
yo, I
for
got
me.
mad niggas. Yo, I could call 30 niggas on my phone that want to kill you, gang. Duck your melon.
Sounds
nigga.
good to
Fuck you
me.
talking about?
I'm excited about it.
Yo, would you call me nigger in my face? Would
Yes,
you
I
say that
would.
in my face?
Yes, I would.
Well, I got this fucking stick in my pants. You'll say it in my face?
Yep.
So you're willing to die behind that word. You're willing to die behind that.
Because it would prove me right.
Say no more. Say no more. You want to meet at Paul?
Because it would prove me right.
Paul?
It would prove everything that I have ever said for the years that I've been doing this 100% right. That you niggers do not deserve to live in civilized society. You never have, you never will, and no matter what you do, no matter how much money you have, you will always be a worthless nigger. So
Well,
All right. Which person would you rather have friends and family live next to? Let's start with Cap. I mean, I mistake is Cap and facts. I mix it up. Only facts. What's your answer?
Neither. Can I say neither? Can I say neither? Even though I know Cuffham is a character, I would say neither.
All right. T reasons.
Man, that's a hard question, but I'm gonna have to go with the brother, man.
You rather live with the black guy in the video?
Yeah, that's the hard question, but I'm gonna go with the brother on that one.
Okay. All right. So Freshly.
You on mute, Fresh. I'm gonna say neither while he's working on the,
Okay. You gonna say neither?
I don't think neither is a fair answer. Because the question
he allowed it. Yeah, he allowed it. So
well, if I could go neither, I'm gonna go neither. But if I have to choose between the two, I'm gonna go with the brother.
Way to go, Enos. Neither is my answer as well.
Next video.
All right. Hold on for a minute.
There is no one like you.
Oh, this one is too.
There has never been anyone like you. There shall never be anyone like you. Therefore, know yourself. Be yourself. Authenticity is everything. There is no.
All right. Excuse me. What does this mean to know yourself? Talk to me. Facts and stats.
When I hear the term "know yourself," I think that it is the ability or the honest attempt to have honest self-reflection. Everybody's not able to have honest self-reflection because of their own, innate bias. But if you can at least attempt to have honest self-reflection, I think that is a great feat. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I don't hear it anymore. You can finish.
Yeah. That's all I was saying. Just the attempt at honest self-reflection. And that's definitely something I advocate with, and definitely on a daily basis with almost everybody I speak to. That's something I speak to a lot, is to be able to pursue honest self-reflection, even if you can't actually reach it,
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
T reasons.
I would say to know yourself is to know the person that you truly are. Know what your life's purpose is, and really get in tune with who you are, and not the identity of everything around you, but who you are as a person, who you are behind closed doors, who you are when nobody's looking, what you stand for, what your life's purpose is, and just your general personality. That's what it means to me to know yourself.
Okay. Freshly Snipes.
Just being acutely aware, acutely self-aware, excuse me, through introspection and honest introspection and self-accountability.
Vulcan.
So to me, to know yourself is to be self-aware.
Yeah, I already said that. Do something else.
Know your strengths and weaknesses, to understand your limitations, to know what limitations you can press, and just to give them the different categories of knowing yourself, who you are morally, who you are spiritually, who you are as far as I mentioned, your aptitudes, your strengths and weaknesses I mentioned before, your competency, being acutely aware of how you stack up against other people, how you fit into your niche, your ecosystem that you're a part of. So it's how you relate to the outside world, and also internally, how do you deal with things, how do you cope, all those different things like that is a part of knowing who you are, so that you know how to fit yourself, your puzzle piece, into different puzzle games. How is it going to make it to where everybody can benefit from it? How do you get your purpose accomplished in different types of environments? A lot of it's going to be based off knowing yourself, more so even than knowing other people at times.
Okay. But what does it mean to know yourself? Let me go with stats or facts. What does that mean? You muted.
Like I said, for me, with that, just having that honest self-reflection.
Well, am I tripping, or is that the same question twice?
It's the same question.
Yeah, it's the same question twice. Did you have another one?
Yeah. No one like you, be yourself. Oh, yeah. I
Oh
this
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah. So with that, no one like you.
Yeah, that's the last question. My bad.
You want to move on to it?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I think that as far as are you saying something else? Are you going or only facts?
Yeah, I can speak to that. You know what I'm saying? Like no one like you.
Yeah.
Good now.
Is that how y'all want to run it?
Since frozen on my end, I think.
No, he moving on my end.
Yeah, you can finish up what you were saying. We're gonna go and transition after you finish your.
Oh, I was saying I don't agree with that. No one is like you. I think that people in general are too similar to make a statement like that. I think that making a statement like that would almost detach you at a certain point, or give a feeling or belief of superiority. And I don't believe anybody's superior to anybody else, other than by by their ability and their actual supporting and uplifting other people. You know what I'm saying? I think that it would be better to say that try to be the best at being you and what you do, but there's no one like you. Hell no. You know what I'm talking about? We all got the same Morgans. We all there are groups of people that think like you think. You know what I'm saying? So this no one like you is a crock of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? That's crazy.
All right, let me just move into T reasons. The next question I want to ask is, what does it mean to be yourself? T reasons.
I think it's to be authentic, to present yourself as an authentic version of yourself, to not lie to yourself, to be honest with yourself, and carry yourself in that manner that you feel, that you deem morally right, morally just. I think that plays into a lot of how we interact with each other. First you have to know yourself before you can, expand to those around you and be a leader or be a pillar to those around you. So I think it's something we all got to do any way, shape, or form.
All right. My guy, Freshly, man. What does it mean to be yourself?
I think it means to be accountable and be okay with whoever you are choosing to be at the moment. So if you want to, whoever it is that you want to be in whatever scenario or situation you want to be, as long as you're okay with what comes of that, how that plays out, how people react to that. Being yourself is conducting yourself however you choose to in the moment.
Vulcan, what does it mean to be yourself?
So for me, what it means to be yourself, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding surrounding what that could mean, and people can obviously mean different things when they say it. But generally speaking, I would say to be yourself would have to contain like a moral element to it, to mean like don't be afraid to be a good person, to do the right thing if that's who you are as a person, to go against the grain if it means that you have to stand up for what's right. So I think that's typically how it's meant to be used, because I don't think people are thinking if somebody's a bad person or intends to do bad things and they're second guessing should they do that bad thing, to say no, be yourself. No, I don't think people mean that. I never heard it typically used that way, although it could be used that way because, like the guy who's doing the video and people posting stuff all over social media, just seems like an empty platitude. Generally speaking, be yourself. What does that even mean? And most people aren't giving anybody. I always say on the show, you can't manage if you can't measure. When you're giving people these concepts, you're not tethering it to some kind of practical situation or some type of definitions that they can work with. Then it just becomes like self-exaltation. Whoever yourself is, whatever version of yourself that you think that you are, whatever that means to you in the moment, you're just emboldening them to be that. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be neutral. And I think a lot of that is just to get people's money, to get them to get more followers, get more views, because we all know that people want to, worship themselves. They want to make themselves the center of reality and be a god to themselves. And that being the case, then yeah, of course, being yourself is the highest state you could be in. If you're, the true God being himself is the highest state of any being. But for humans, sometimes myself is bad. The Bible would say you should die to yourself daily. It says that, when it talks about the nature of the walk of a Christian is sacrificing things that you may desire, you may want, whether it's certain callings or certain things that you think that you should be doing, or certain desires and aptitudes that you would like to fulfill that you may have to put aside for a greater good. Dying to yourself and your desires, that go against the nature of God. So unless you're God, I think being yourself is if just a blanket statement like that is bad advice. You should be like Christ. You should be like God. That's to me is good advice. And then if you're going to say be yourself, it should be in the context of if a person is generally doing a good thing or has good intuitions about things or has moral proclivities and they're doubting it because of social pressures and peer pressure and things of that nature, then you may help to reaffirm that first thought they had, which is do the right thing, by saying, look, be yourself, don't go with the crowd. But outside of that context that you might find in the Family Matters episode, I think it's pretty bad advice.
Wow. Marie Captain Saxon here. Do you disagree with Vulcan saying being yourself is actually bad advice?
I think, and I'm gonna say that Vulcan's response really gave me a response. I don't really like talking about a lot about religion. Well, you can never talk about religion unnecessarily, right? But I'm of a different religion. I'm a Muslim, and one of the things that we do is we follow the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And one thing he said was that the soul is made of 3 parts, right? And that and I think the soul is who you really are, right? The soul is who you actually really are. And it's made of 3 parts. You got a higher part that's prone to only good. You got a lower part that is susceptible to do bad things. And you got a middle part that's kind of wishy-washy, right? So talking about it, he said that he was talking about more about destiny and where we'll end up in the afterlife. He was saying that do what comes easiest to you, right? Because some people, bad comes easy to them. You know, some people only good comes easy to them, right? So he said that your destiny will be easy to get to, whether it's, you know, paradise or the hellfire. But I can definitely say that be you because, you know, being you will lead you to your destiny. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but it's easy to be you. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think that you should be okay with being who you are. You know, you should be okay with being who you are.
All right.
I don't know if that made sense. You know,
just on the side question, you was quoting Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad.
Yep. No.
I mean Muhammad.
Elijah Muhammad was a damn thief and a liar. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that the Quran was revealed to 1,500 years ago. Yeah.
All right. And just a question. I'm just curious. Why do you don't like talking about religion? Just curious.
Well, I think that no, it's not that I don't like to. I was gonna say unnecessarily, but I mean like in a competitive way. I think that the way I wanted to say it may have sound competitive after Vulcan spoke on Christianity and the Bible. The way I wanted to say it may have sounded competitive when I didn't mean to say it competitively.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, you know what I'm saying, rather than, you know, jump at it like that, because I wasn't trying to compare what he was saying to follow. Just kind of give a moral, you know.
I got you. Before I bring it back to Vulcan, what's the point that you really want to focus on as far as the disagreement? If I get Vulcan to respond to your response.
Was there disagreement?
If you could say it less than like 10 to 20 seconds, if you could be concise with it.
Was it a disagreement? I didn't think it was a disagreement. I was kind of saying that, you know, what he said made me kind of think about it. I didn't intend to make a disagreement.
Okay, that's my bad. Yeah, I'm writing some stuff down, so that's my bad.
Oh, okay.
All right. So anybody on this panel, whether it's Fresh or T Reasons, what's y'all thoughts, disagreements with what Vulcan's saying as far as being yourself is actually bad advice? Let's start with T Reasons.
I think there is some truth to that, because I think when you say be yourself, humans aren't one dimensional. So what we were kind of talking about is kind of the different dimensions that humans possess. You know, sometimes you could have good intentions, or, you know, you might wake up one day and want to go rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? But is that a good idea, or is that a bad idea? So when you tell people to be themselves, that's kind of like a vague thing to say to somebody, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because their true intentions might not be what you may think those true intentions are. You know, you got people who break into people's houses, and then you got people who feed food to the homeless. So you got to know your audience, and you got to know who you're speaking to when you tell somebody to be themselves. Because like what my guy was saying here is, you have your lower self and you have your higher self. So a lot of times when we have these types of talks, what we try to speak to is our higher self. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody has been able to transcend into that realm. You know, sometimes people operate in their lower selves, and that's how they wake up. So you know, you got to pull that person out of that type of deal. So I think when you say be yourself, that's kind of real vague. It's not very specific at all. You know. So
I want to chime in, and one of the reasons, thank you for that, Two reasons I was asking you. I'm not as familiar with the Quran, so when you were saying the lower self, the higher self, I'm familiar with the 5% saying that, and you know, a lot of the doctrines came from Elijah Muhammad, from the messages of the black man. So I didn't realize that the Quran actually talks about the higher and the lower self. So that's one of the reasons why I asked that question. And before I bring my guy Fresh in here, let's get into these comments. Knowing yourself helps you decide what situations you should and shouldn't put yourself in. I think this should be a number one for people, especially kids. He also said, imagine someone telling Hitler, be yourself. LOL. Great statement, Vulcan. Shout out to Vulcan. My guy, Fresh, what's your thoughts, agreements, disagreements? Keep it concise. We're moving around the room. What's your thoughts of as far as being yourself is actually wrong advice, bad advice? I'm sorry.
I don't think it's right or wrong to Vulcan's point as a blanket statement for sure. It could be bad advice, you know, to kind of reiterate what the rest of the panel has said. You know, especially based on my earlier answer of what be yourself means. I mean, it could be bad, it could be good, right? Depending on who in the moment. I don't want to tell a murderer to be themselves or a sociopath or psychopath to be yourself. I want you to get help.
Be somebody else.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do the opposite of what you would do.
Right. Yeah. Be me.
Right.
Be close to Christ. Be anybody that's not what you're trying to do right now. But just contextually as a blanket statement, it could be 50-50. It depends on who you're talking to. I believe T. Reason said, know your audience. So overall, I don't agree with just general blanket statements. You guys notice on the show, I tend to want particulars of statements and thoughts and context and circumstances, so I can understand, kind of the motivation. So I don't agree in general with blanket statements.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And then for me, part of why this is somewhat important to me is because, we talk about logic. One of the laws of logic is a law of identity. So the thing is, when it comes to saying be yourself or know yourself, we have to give people some way of distinguishing what's them and some way of distinguishing between what's them and what's not them. So if I were to walk up to somebody and say, hey, be yourself, how can I know if they're being themselves or they're not? How can they know if they're being themselves or they're not? No, I've never heard anybody do a breakdown on that. All we see is the first thing, which is flattering. Hey, be yourself. Just exaltation of self. Like whatever you happen to be right now, that's who you're supposed to be. Anything that deviates from that is lesser.
Mm-hmm. You're good enough. Just being you is good enough.
Yeah, that seems like an assumption we need not make.
Yeah, man.
So in some categories, if somebody loves strawberry and everybody else in their family loves chocolate and they're tempted to switch to chocolate because of family pressure, again, be yourself. It's okay to be you, to be unique. That's fine. But the thing is, maybe chocolate is better. They haven't tried it yet. And once they try chocolate, they go, actually, I'm going to go with the chocolate team.
You know what? If you're a bad person, be yourself so I can identify you easily. Now that I think about it, don't fake it. All right, just be you out loud.
Don't fake
so
it.
I can know who you are.
All right, fellas. I think I definitely covered that topic pretty well. Let's go ahead and transition to the next video. The truth about keeping a man. Let me get your thoughts on this.
Like when I'm working with women, it's like, let him open your door. Like you have, like when I'm working with women, it's like, let him open your door. Like you have to give him the understanding in his body. I have a place here for a very good reason. Men need a place. They need to perceive that they're adding to your life in some way. They need to be needed by you in a very clear way. And the issue that women have today is that they're in the exact opposite mentality and energy. They're in, I got to stand on my own 2 feet. What's valued is independence, and I need to make it essentially so that I can exist without you. You can't do that with a man. Like when I'm working with women.
All right, fellas. Yeah, I still hear that. Fellas, let man do things for you. First question I want to ask the panel, is this good advice? Let's start with yes or no first. Only facts. Is this good advice?
I would definitely say it's good advice. Woman to woman, for sure.
T. Reasons. Is this good advice?
It's good advice, man. She gets it.
She gets it. Freshie Snipes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Dun-dun.
Should not get involved in this conversation?
Yeah, I get involved. I don't think it is. No.
I'm going to say I don't think it's good advice.
Only facts. Talk to me. Why is this good advice?
I would say, number one, that independence is not a very feminine trait. And I think most men are attracted to more feminine women.
Right on.
That women who are independent that independence by itself is not a bad thing for a woman to be, but I think that the other characteristics that are nurtured by a woman acting independently is what is even more so unattractive to men. And that's all I got to say.
All right. T, reasons why. Why is this good advice?
I think it's good advice because I think it works both ways. I think a man wants to feel needed and wanted, and I think a woman wants to feel needed and wanted. And I think that in order for a relationship to come together, those are two key centerpieces that you need in order for a relationship to be long lasting and for a relationship to bear fruit. Because if you don't need me, why am I here? If you don't want me, why am I here? And a lot of times when you deal with an independent woman, she's constantly trying to throw up in your face how and or why you don't need her. And it almost pushes you away from her because instead of that warm embrace that a man or a woman would want from their loved one, they're getting the cold shoulder. You see what I mean? So it's kind of, you start feeling like it's pointless. What's the point of me being here if you don't need me to be here and you don't give me that avenue? And I agree with what my guy said. It's a masculine trait. The level of independence some of these women think that they need to have. And then when they don't find a man that actually wants to keep them around, they don't understand that it's because that energy, that feminine energy that a man needs is not there. So it almost causes a disconnect. That relationship was doomed to fail before it even started because of that independent energy. I don't think it's a bad thing for a man or a woman to be independent, but to keep expressing that to the person you say you care about or that you love, that's kind of like a slap in the face.
All right, let's move it around the room. Let me bring my guy Fresh in here. Fresh said yes.
You want to get in because we've had 2 yays. You want to get?
Oh yeah. Okay, so
I'm just asking questions. It's up to you.
Yeah, I go ahead. I don't mind jumping in. This is my thing. When I'm listening to let me just give me 2 seconds, 5 seconds. Fresh, you go ahead. Let me stop this.
So just so we know, and I hate that Eno's left.
You want to just
say
talk?
this?
Oh, okay. We can just hold off until he gets back. That's fine.
No, it's he can watch the show back.
Oh, okay.
She said a lot of things. She said a few things in there. My answer is specifically in reference to her let men do things for you statement. Nothing else that she said. And I'm not saying this is good or bad. My answer is in reference to that statement. I want to focus on the let and kind of put it up against make. If a man is wanting to do certain things for you, I don't think that you should stop him as a woman. So if he wants to open the door for you, I can see why you wouldn't. Like I don't know why you would fight him for that or tell him not to do. Now make a man do something for you or require a man to do something for you is a bit of a different conversation. But she said let, which allow. If a man wants to do something for you, he's already trying. Sure, let him do that. And this is not me going into the feminine, the masculine. But if someone's trying to do something good for you, I think you can let him open the door for you. Let him pull out your chair. Let him do the things that he's trained. I don't see how that takes away, even if you are an independent woman. That's independence to an extreme. I don't. Why would you fight a man to open the door for you?
Okay.
Like what does that? What does that indicate? What's the indicator of even for an independent woman? That say you don't have the strength to open the door. That gets it into a little bit of the ridiculous. So my answer was in reference to just what she said. Let it. If the man is trying to do something for you, especially in the realm of chivalry, let him.
All right, so this up a chime. I didn't hear everything. Can y'all hear me? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Y'all hear me?
Loud and clear. All
right, so I didn't hear everything Fresh said. Watching the video, this is the first things I noticed. I'm just particular with the words when she said let. That's the part I disagree with. Because true leadership, you don't need to let anybody do anything because leadership is led by competence and good qualities that shows true character, right? So the letting, that means I'm giving you permission to lead me. That's how I'm interpreting that, and that just destroys the idea of authentic leadership, the way I'm viewing it. So when you enter a relationship, it's not let. This is actually you don't. It's a level of obedience to a hierarchy. Relationship hierarchy, competence hierarchy, whatever somebody's better at, not letting anybody do anything is a proper thing to allow somebody to lead, because that's the proper role. That's my thoughts on that.
Right, but wouldn't it be letting someone lead?
Would it be letting?
Obviously, being obedient is still a choice, right?
Yeah, it's a choice.
Even if you recognize the proper hierarchy, it's still a choice that you would be making to let a man lead you. If you don't want to be led, you don't. I mean, we see it in droves these days. A lot of these women are not willing to be led, whether they're being led properly or not, whether the man that's trying to lead them is a good leader or not.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, especially in a relationship, a woman that's requested. It's recognized. You see a man that you want to be in a relationship with, whether it's marriage or whatever, you're requesting the man to lead you. It's not like let him. You understand his qualities.
Yeah,
I'm just with the words let.
Yeah, let is allowed, which means it's already happening. So the man is already leading. The let part is your acquiescence as the woman. Is not you're allowing him to lead. He's already leading. That's where the let comes in. When you're letting someone do something, it means it's happening already. You're just allowing it to happen to you. It's still a choice.
Yeah, but it's permission. That's what I'm saying. You give him permission.
So to your point, you're saying if a man is a good leader, then it doesn't matter what the woman wants, she's going to be led.
Yeah. Yeah, because she recognized it. Let me give a scenario. Like when you're at your job, you don't let your boss give orders or what's best for him. You're not giving them permission to lead.
No, but you are acquiescing to the leadership.
Okay, those different words. I'm just talking about the let part. Acquiescing and the let. I think that's the different.
No,
they're similar, but they're not the same.
That's where the let comes in. Your boss is going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah, but you're not letting your boss do anything.
Yeah,
do you agree with that part?
Yourself be led. There's plenty of people who make a choice.
Hold on, let me say this. I think we was talking at the same time. I'm gonna ask the question. I think we're talking at the same time. Do you let your boss do anything? Is that the mindset that we have when we go into the job? Do we let our bosses? Do we let them lead us? I don't think we don't use that terminology. I'm just focused on the let part.
So yeah, when you say let them lead you, yeah,
we do use that terminology, or we don't.
No, you do.
Okay.
When you enter into an employment agreement, you're agreeing to be led by your superior. If you don't want to be led by your superior, which you do have the choice, you can exit that employment agreement.
Yeah, but what I'm focused on, I'm focused on the communication part. We don't communicate that. Although in our head we might lead, we can have another.
What's unspoken?
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm dealing with the video. I'm dealing with the context of the video. She said, "Let him lead." I'm saying I wouldn't use that choice word. She said, "Let your man lead." Yeah, but she prefaced saying, "Let your man lead," right?
No. Her initial statement was, "If let him open the door for you."
Okay.
If a man wants to do something for you, let him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part I'm focused on. Yeah, so that's the premise. Just as far as letting men do that.
So you're taking choice out of it, though. When you say let, you are taking choice out of it, because what you're implying is that because of the hierarchy, there's no choice, but there is a choice. If you don't want to be led,
that's not what I'm doing. I'm saying because you have a reverence for the hierarchy, so you already know when you enter in the situation why you're doing this.
Here, so it's something that's not involved here. Yeah, that's a pretty big leap, especially because we see in society today that a lot of women are in relationships actively rebelling against being led, actively not, quote unquote, letting their man lead.
Yeah.
So what do we? Right. So the word
that's what I'm
let
saying.
does have
Just
choice
that
to it.
I don't. I'm gonna say this, and I
The word
want.
let entails choice. It implies choice.
Yeah, I understand what it implies. I'm just saying how it's verbalized and communicated. Let's get everybody in. We can go back for. I want to get T. Vulcan, you have an answer. Yeah, I want to get your reasons for knowing. We can get back into getting everybody involved in this dialogue. Let's go, Vulcan.
So yeah, I think all the guys make some really good points, and I definitely agree with what Freshly's saying, and also Only Facts and T Reason said. I think for me that the main focus why I disagree with the video is because I think it's just again similar to the last person. It's going to be about the why. The reason why they're saying it, I don't think holds a lot of value. There's already reasons. There's already strengths and weaknesses in pretty much every relationship dynamic. You don't have to let somebody open the door for you, whatever the case may be, so that they'll feel valued. Yeah, like Freshie said, if he wants to open the door for you, let him do it. But my point is saying that her reason why is so that somebody can feel like you need them. People got to feel like you need them. But
I knew
there's
this
so
what
many.
you were referring to when you said
It's just so superficial though, because I mean, open the door is a symbolic thing, symbolic gesture. Not saying it's meaningless. Some symbols have major meaning in our human existence, but there's plenty of areas where men compliment women and women compliment men that you don't need to use the superficial ones. I think most people wouldn't like to know that I don't really need this. I'm doing this because you need this. I don't know how many men will be okay with that. So now, if you want to do something, because like I know times that I've been out with people, ladies in particular, and we talk about certain gender roles and dynamics. Am I really big on gender roles and dynamics? Usually not very much. But the reality is that we still live in a society. So if I'm with a woman out in public and we're going to different events stuff, I open the door because I'm in the South. That's a representation of who I am as a person. People are going to glean certain things about my habits, my behaviors, my value system off how I interact with this lady or my family. If I'm out with my family or anything kind of situation, people are typically gleaning things off of that and making decisions about whether they want to interact with you in a certain way. I knew a guy, just a completely a different topic, but he was trying to go play basketball overseas, and a guy was watching him play ball. And he was a gifted basketball player, 6'7", but he had a horrible attitude. And I saw somebody looking at this guy to go overseas, and another guy goes, "Yeah, you want to mess with him? He has a bad attitude." Just like that, it was over. You see what I'm saying? And so in the same way, people, I had a friend of mine, they were out in the cold, and his wife got outside to help defrost the windshield. People saw that and had negative views of my friend because his wife was out there doing the windshield. Now, I happen to know later on, we talked about it, that was her idea. She wanted to get out and do that so she could do it. Everybody else didn't look at it that way.
Chivalry says that man should freeze by himself while the woman stares outside through the window.
Even if she wanted to do it herself, right? And so my point is saying, like, you don't need empty gestures like that to give people a place or a value, because you end up presenting each other for that. Because that person who's doing it wants credit. People typically, when they do things to feel valued, they want some type of currency for that. But if you're doing it for false reasons, you're not going to give them no credit for that. I did that for you. That wasn't a favor for me. That was a favor for you. So you end up in that situation. And then lastly, I'm pressure. Oh, go ahead, pressure.
No, I was gonna say this is the reason. This is the reason why I prefaced my earlier answer the way that I did, and said like, I'm not commenting on what she said in the rest of the video because I don't agree with that. But again, she said several things, which is why I just picked which thing I wanted to. I responded to and responded to that thing. To the point, the way she made it set up is men need to feel like they're doing something for you. They need to feel, but I don't think that's true. Oftentimes men are taught to, I think a lot of times men are doing that even when it's inconvenient for them. It's not something that they need to feel. It's something that they were taught, especially if you're a Southern man, something that you were taught to do for the other woman, whether she can do it or not. I don't open the door for my wife because she doesn't possess the physical strength to do so. it's a reflection of how much I value her, how I feel about her. Those are the things to what Vulcan was saying. You don't need empty platitudes. The way she presented it is like, just, you know, even if you don't need them, just let them do it because it's going to make them feel good, which sounds crazy. It sounds very reductive, almost condescending, if we're being honest. Like, ladies, I know you don't need him to do that, but just let him do it anyways. It'll make him feel good.
And that's not building up any currency with him.
It's not. Anyway. It actually was like, okay, well, if you don't need me, to T Reason's point earlier in his initial statement, if you don't need me, what am I here for? Now, that's not saying that I need to be felt, but if you're going to express, whether, you know, cheek and tongue or not, that, you know, this is not working for you. Like, oh, you're not feeling this? Cool. Like, I don't need to do it.
Yeah, I want to say one last little piece on it. I was mentioning how there's so many other areas in life where you are dependent upon a man. You may have a guy who's not much for words or not going to be the most intellectually sophisticated person in the world, but he's good with his hands, or he's a strong protector, or a little bit of both, or he's always supporting you. So you don't have to contrive ways for him to feel valued. If you do your due diligence and like knowing yourself that we talked about before, then you know your strengths and weaknesses. You recognize their strengths and weaknesses, and you're all able to fit like a hand in glove. There's no need to do it artificially. Usually, I'm not saying that never happens, but you don't typically, you know, the more you get to know each other, the less artificial it has to be.
It also goes both ways, though, which is another thing that I noticed she did. There, in a relationship dynamic, there's not many things, if anything at all, that women cannot do that a man can do, and vice versa, right? With technology,
with technology and the internet and all that stuff, the
societal expectations on gender roles at this point in time say, you know, a woman should cook, clean, and raise the children. You can find multiple examples in modern society where men can do all of those things and are willing to do those things for themselves, right? So outside of procreation, there's just not a whole lot.
Well, I want to say this
done for oneself.
I want to provide one area. Oh, you gonna say something?
Yeah, so I'm listening to the back and forth, right? From just a kind of quick poll, married, unmarried, long-term relationship, anybody on the thing, because I'm trying to understand, like, if we've observed that the most successful relationships that we've observed has been a certain way, is that significant or no?
Depends on what your definition of successful is.
Successful, staying together at least 10 years or more.
I mean,
in a marriage.
I if that's the case, then I disagree.
You disagree whether it's significant or not?
Well, yeah, if you just basing it on how
long
I do want for a definition of successful, so I gave you a definition of successful.
No, I understand. So again, based on the definition you gave me, I don't agree. There's plenty of abusive relationships that have stayed together 10 years plus.
But I think when you say something like that, you're adding context to the conversation that is not in evidence right now. Like, I'm just saying, just based on the raw assumption, just based on the raw information, been together at least 10 years in a marriage. No other context.
If that's the only context, then that covers every relationship, does it not? You're by saying that I'm adding context, you're just adding context in the opposite direction. I'm considering
I'm saying when you add context, you're making assumptions. If you make assumptions, then you could go to any extreme. So
I understand what you're saying. All I did was say, hey, this is a possibility based on the framework that you gave. It doesn't specify one way or the other. So yes, there are successful 10-year marriages, but there's also unsuccessful 10-year marriages, is what I'm saying. So as a rule, it doesn't work because it can go either way.
How would you define unsuccessful?
We would say the abusive relationship that's gone on for 10 years, the abusive marriage that's lasted for 10 years, we wouldn't call that successful. But based on the only framework that you gave us is a successful marriage means 10 years or more. If you want to add criteria, then that will narrow down and allow the rule to work better. But if you give a rule and it's vague, you only gave me one rule. That rule applies across the relationships, right?
But that rule was enough to answer the question. To imply or assume that abuse occurred is to skew the question.
It's
like I'm just
the other way
just
based that he doesn't.
Just based on the fact that a successful marriage is married 10 years or more without divorce. If we saw that things worked a certain way in the majority of those situations, would they be significant or not?
Let me chime in because I hear that you asked the question. What is it? Because at what point do you want to convey to us on this panel and the audience? What point do you want to convey on and stand on?
I would ask in situations where you saw people were married at least 10 years or more, wouldn't you have to say that gender roles were upheld most of the time? Like that the man upheld masculine gender roles and that the woman upheld feminine gender roles. And I asked that because I was listening to the back and forth, and it got to the point where we were kind of seeming like we were saying that her, even though we were picking kind of the word that she said, we were listening to the overall point of what she was kind of saying was basically.
And this is the point you want us to know, right? You're
going towards gender roles, right? That's what I was asking. Like, haven't we seen that upholding gender roles in relationships lead to more successful relationships than not?
Okay, I can answer that, right? Yeah,
that's a good question.
Okay, let's bring T reasons around fresh. Do you think? Do you mind stating the question again and get a yes or no answers from the panel before we move on?
Haven't we seen that upholding gender roles in relationships lead to more successful relationships than not?
All right, T reasons, yes or no?
Yes, I believe so.
Fresh?
Yeah, from a racial standpoint, I believe so.
I think Vulcan?
I would say generally yes.
Okay, so we all on the same. I would say yes. So we all on the same page as far as that.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I want to point out that I wasn't being combative. The way that OnlyFans and Stats restructured or reframed the question is specific enough to be answered a certain way. It wasn't vague. It was more than the qualifier of more often than not allows a specific question.
Okay, yeah, I can accept that.
And I wanted to add this part right here, but I wanted them to be able to have their exchange before I said this point. But I think one area where we don't value it as much is men being the priests of their home. So when men were the spiritual leaders in their home, as we've gotten more secular in our thinking and we're more relativistic, there's no absolute truth, all roads lead to Rome. We're in the age of pluralism. Everybody's ideas are just fine, and people are more spiritual than religious. What happens is, in that situation, then the man's role as the priest of the home diminishes. There's really no need for it because he's meant to be more rigid and strict on how you worship God and how you relate to God and how that the discipline looks like in the household, the structure in the household. But now a feminine frame structure is just as good as a masculine frame structure. And so I think when you had it to where there was actually gender roles in that way and people were looking to the man for leadership spiritually, which is the foundation of all the other types of systems that you go off of in the household, that was always a place for the man in that way. When if the woman was a better reader, if she was more articulate, it didn't matter because he was the logical, analytical one who would say, well, it says this right here, that's what it's going to be. There's no wiggle room on this area right here. There's wiggle room here. This is the direction of our family. So he always had a value. But now that people don't discuss theology as much, people are non-denominational or all religions are the same and no religion's better than the others and all values are the same, no matter what your values are. If you're a gangster, if you're a monk, it's all the same. It's just different types of lifestyle. In hip hop, get it how you live. It's how they'll say it. then there is no place for the man in that framework to be the leader of the home spiritually. And if you're not leader spiritually, then any other type of leadership is going to be more hollow because it's not really based off of anything substantive.
Okay. Now, Volk, I want to ask, do you mind asking the next question for the panel to answer?
You have to show it to me. Did you send it to me or something? Or?
Yeah, I did earlier in the group chat, the pod biz.
Oh,
you're
talking about that? Like, just the question is like, does it go both ways for women and for men?
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Fellas, anybody want to speak to it? We can move on. We don't have to stay here.
Does what go both ways?
Yeah, can you define what
the concept? So she's saying that men, women need to allow men to contribute in certain ways so that they can feel valued. Do men need to do the same thing for women? Find areas where she can contribute so that she feels valued for the same reasons why she's saying so they feel valued. Does that go both ways?
Facts. If you keep it concise, less than a minute. Only.
Yeah, I want to speak anecdotally from my experience. Not so much that as far as it upholds gender roles, I think that has anecdotally, from my perspective, has always led to better outcomes. So where the man was needed, and the woman was loved, supported, you know what I mean, or like guided in a good way,
So is that a yes or no? Do you think that it goes both ways?
Not that the woman should be needed. No, I don't agree with that. No, I don't agree that the woman should be needed.
Okay, gotcha.
In order to have a successful relationship, no.
Okay, Teresa, what about for you?
I think it's a core value to the relationship. I think it builds strength, and I think both people can feel more fulfilled in that relationship when they both can feel something of that nature where that need is there.
So just to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that just like she said, the women should let the man open doors and do different things so we can feel valued in a relationship. You're saying in the same way, men should look for ways for their ladies to contribute so they can feel valued in a relationship too, for it to be healthy.
Absolutely. I think a woman needs to feel needed as much as a man does.
Got you. Freshly?
Let me
hold on before you respond, Sats, let's go around and then
okay, cool. I just thought about something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if it goes one way, then it should go the other. The qualifier being if.
Okay, Enos.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't agree with the word usage, but as far as people feeling needed, it's just I don't like to feel needed either. But I think you should do things. So it's a yes. You should do things where the person they are recognized that they are an asset to your relationship. So yeah, needed. Yeah.
Okay, all the facts. You had something you were gonna say?
So what I was gonna say was I recalled a relationship with a truly submissive woman, right? And I'm a better cook than most people, right? I took cooking classes. I'm very clean. I'm very organized. All that kind of stuff. So I can clean better. I can wash clothes better. I can organize better. I can cook better and all that. But whenever I would make even make my own plate, right? Or like wash the clothes and fold the clothes, she would be upset about it. So I think when you can establish those gender roles, I think that I may have been incorrect in my first response. I think that being needed to fulfill those gender roles is necessary for women. Yep, I think I was wrong based on that.
Yes, sir. All right, next topic.
All right, that's good.
Could I add one more thing to that?
Sir. Yeah, he's got.
I think when you talk about need, and if you void need in a relationship, then I feel like you also void appreciation. Because without the need, you can't feel that genuine appreciation from that other person. So I think that's pivotal and core to